We came back to Napier within about 6 weeks because the Japs were coming down, and we were going to defend this country till the bitter end, till the last shot, going down, having penetrated your skull or your belly, and we never had a bolter shot. I'd have been running like bloody hell, and I tell you, Roger Bannister would have been well second to me. And it was bullshit. We slept on we took over the West Shore camping ground at one part, and that was good because it had hot showers in it and all that. But it was primitive. Other than that, you slept in whatever. And some of these buggers that slept in these bloody gun emplacements along the parade, in a heavy sea there was a crowd in one of them, and they nearly all got drowned. It went right into it, you know. I wasn't getting the adventure. And I thought my eyesight, but when this is J.J. Foley, who was the medical superintendent of the Napier Hospital, when we had to report it at the drill hall in Napier, he was one of the doctors who was examining us. A joker named Holland, he was an optician, and old JJ said to me, "Jim, you ain't got a show. You ain't going to show." And you were never familiar with doctors in those days. And I said, "Come on, Doc. All my mates are going." And that bugger put me in as A1. Never knew. Had I known, I wouldn't have even tried to go into sea. And I thought, well, there's no way I'm going to get away. And then we were put out to do essential work. I think mine was at the Gear Meat Company in Petone. And I was a rebel there. You were thrown in, and I was in the bloody part where you boil all the gut down and make blood and bone and all this. And I used to, the stuff would come up in small trolleys, and I'd push it all into these boilers. And then when it was ready, I'd go down and put it into a press so much, and then put the bloody hydraulic thing on it. And I was covered in fucking shit from arsehole to breakfast time. And I'd have a shower there, and the two bastards were too miserable to put a hot shower on, and scrub myself down, go home and have a bath, and you could smell me all over the picture theatre, you know, if we're in one. And there I experienced the old morning tea room where we had our grub, was all concrete, bloody concrete. I hate to think how many years old. And in one corner there was a hole. And this rat used to come out every morning, and this old bugger would be long dead, long dead. Be, you know, all the blubber on him and that, hair from arsehole to breakfast time, and he'd feed it. And this bloody rat knew it every bloody morning. When we'd been a couple of days, or, you know, so many days, another guy and I, we used to piss off, not go to work, and go to Wellington and get, you know, into that brown froth. And we had Manpower, and they'd get on to you, and the next thing you'd get a letter and threatening, you know, all this. But eventually, most of us had, when the season was getting there, a lot of us weren't needed, so they sent us home to get, or back to our old jobs, and that was that. So when I got back, I thought, well, I'm off. And that's how I went away.